A very good evening, dear viewers. You are most welcome to UBC Property Hour. You were real estate and construction most informative, inclusive, and update show. And tonight, it's not just about the premiere show, but we are as well kick-starting the show with your lovely hosts, Viola and Barbara.
And indeed, we want to keep giving you real estate and construction ideas, name it, expert opinion on this show, right from when we are on this property hour. And you know, it's a great privilege to be here and to share with you information regarding this sector in Uganda.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I totally agree with you. And dear viewer, just check us online and follow us. That is Property Hour UG, so that you do not miss out on what is latest on the real estate market. Tonight, we kickstart the show by unveiling the real estate education to the informal sector in Uganda. Barbara, what is it all about on the real estate market? Do people understand what education is? Are they professionals?
You know, we have so much that goes on in our real estate industry. We don't know how it goes on because there are so many players in the market, but we are sure that we are here on this platform to share what is it that it is about education and what is it that affects the people that are living in this country, especially those in informal setting.
Barbara, let's not let the cat out of the bag, because we have the professionals tonight. In the studios, we have real estate professionals who are going to take us through exactly what real estate education is, the status of the sector in Uganda, and what we need to know about the sector. And that is none other than Rachel and Francis. They will be introducing themselves briefly. But we are proudly powered to you by HK Properties Uganda, and this is the leading housing condominium company that provides spacious and affordable apartments, and moreover at a very long-term payment plan. Just check out www.hkproperties.com.
So our dear guests today, you can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Wow, thank you, Barbara, and thank you, UBC and Property Hour, for having us. My name is Rachel Mirembe Arinaitwe. I'm a lecturer at Makerere University Business School, and I'm also a PhD research student at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome to the show, Rachel. Over to you, Francis.
Oh, thank you, Viola and Barbara, for this opportunity at UBC, and our dear viewers. I am happy to be here during this property hour.
You're welcome.
And I am Tukundane Francis, a lecturer of real estate management at Makerere University Business School. I've been in this industry as a practitioner and a trainer. I acquired my Master of Science in Property from University of Aberdeen, UK. I am glad to be here, and I hope I will be able to contribute to the education sector in regard to real estate.
You know, we always have this thing in the real estate industry that there are many people that we know of, but we never get to know, did they study anything to get these qualifications, or are they just practicing from the word go? Can you help us understand what's the current situation regarding the industry and the real estate education in Uganda?
Thank you, Barbara. First and foremost, we need to understand actually what real estate is. Real estate is concerned with the built environment. And in the broader spectrum, it takes up all professions that are engaged in the built-up environment, ranging from engineering, architecture, surveying, and real estate management. The historical perspective of this is that in Uganda, the technical education in real estate started way back in 1922, when Makerere Technical School was established. And surveying and real estate, which are more related, was one of the courses, technical courses at that time. It was later shifted to Nakawa, and around 1944, it was shifted to Katabi in the then Mpigi district and now Wakiso district, but was also later shifted to the present location in Entebbe municipality. That was called Survey Training School, and it is still carries the same name. But its mandate was, focusing on land surveying, land management and evaluation, offering certificates and diplomas in that aspect. Of course, when you're talking about education, you realize that qualifications at that level do not provide the in-depth understanding of the entire profession that we are calling real estate, that govern the real estate industry. Later in 1989, the Department of Architecture was started at Makerere University, followed by the Department of Land Surveying in 1991. But these were not providing the cores that are necessary to bring the full discipline of real estate industry. Yes, you had, the architect, the architecture, civil, and surveying now in place. But still something was missing. Around 2003, Makerere again introduced in the very disciplines of quantity surveying and valuation. But still, those were more technical, not bringing in the core business aspect that brings in the fulfillment of the real estate industry. And I think...
Richard, do you agree with Francis?
I totally agree with Francis. Thank you, Francis, for that. You realize that in the real estate or in the built environment, for long, as Uganda, we missed out on the real estate as a business, like you would see in the American approach. So because that was lacking, Makerere University, through Makerere University Business School in 2007, introduced the Bachelors of Real Estate Business Management to help close the gap within the business aspect. And it's been running quite well. We have been operating since 2007 and we've graduated over 300 graduates. We've had other universities try to come and start real estate, like Victoria University, Cavendish, and I think Ndeje and Nkozi, But there's still something lacking with the real estate. But yes, we have the real estate business, which we normally, in the normal language, we usually call babloka, bakayungirizi, engineer. Yes, so that's when the real estate business comes on board.
Rachel, I totally agree with you. And tonight we are trying to unveil the real estate education to the informal sector in Uganda. Yes. I agree with you with the background and getting to the current status. But who is the informal sector? What is that informal sector exactly that we are talking about tonight?
Thank you, Viola, for that question. We have very many people who are doing real estate as a business. Like I said earlier on, we have Babloka. But these people have not been to a real estate class, through university, and they qualified for real estate. Well, they could have had other university degrees, but not real estate as mainstream. And also, because we are working in an environment that is not regulated, everyone can become a real estate broker, everyone can enter into the industry and get out of the industry. So we have more of an informal sector. There are very few, the few that we've graduated could be the formal ones.
So Francis, does it mean that the informal sector does it relate anyhow to the settlement, or it doesn't have anything to do with that?
Well, thank you, Viola. The word informal actually could be broad. Could relate to a sector itself, but also could relate to an individual. Yes. You can have an informal individual. You can have an informal sector. What is fundamental is the organizational nature of the sector, the regulation regarding the sector. So what we are having and what we are trying to cause an interface is having an interface between the informal sector with the formal sector.
Yes.
Because if you looked at the players in the CBD, in the Central Business District, the owners of the buildings in there, do they actually go through the formal processes of, for example, before coming up to put up a building, you've done market analysis, you've said these are the needs of the market. So the formal person would go through that, would be knowing that in order to put up a building, a commercial building, I need to carry out a market study, understand which market am I building for, who are the consumers. And that actually explains why that we have a lot of vacancies. You have buildings, very good buildings, but that are not fully occupied. Yet we complain that rent is high. You cannot have rent high, that is high, when actually you have vacancies.
So Francis, I want to understand what impact do you think this real estate education will have like on such a market, such an industry?
Thank you, Barbara. What we are trying to do as we are beginning these training sessions, we are now going to begin with the so-called roadside brokers. As I've said, the informal deals with the organizational setup and regulation. The roadside broker does not have an office. You cannot say, I will find him here.
True.
His deals are not regulated. So we are trying to say, let's train this roadside broker, bring him to some level of knowing what to do. His responsibility and obligation is to, because a roadside broker, for example, is, a broker is a real estate agent that connects, that connects the willing buyer to the willing seller. But at times you find this person on the roadside, for him what is interest is only earning a commission. But he does not know, for example, that he has an obligation to the buyer and he has an obligation to the seller. So we believe that these training sessions will bring this informal sector of the roadside brokers. They are not going to be eliminated, they will be there, but at least they will be informed of their responsibilities to the respective parties in the property and land transactions.
Thank you, Francis. It's a beautiful thing,
to add
Rachel.
on, to add on what my colleague Francis has been saying.
Yes.
We've had an education system and we still have it. We are channeling out graduates every year. Like I said, we have over 300 graduates in the real estate business. But in a typical Ugandan market, our market is still immature or infant, if I could use that word. We don't have proper systems. So this is what I'm saying. When we have these brokers out there, they do not have the real connections that our elite brokers who have studied, they do not have the real connections to the grassroots. So even the real big property management companies you see and the brokerage companies you see in Uganda here, they do not get down to the grassroots to get the listings.
But Rachel, I totally agree with you.
Yes.
Just a minute, I totally agree with you.
Yes.
But then it's so good that you and Francis represent the government of Uganda through moves. So what have you done? What have you put in place to help bridge the gap between the real estate education and the informal sector that you just described for us tonight?
Thank you, Viola. So through the government of Uganda and through REEF Funds Makerere, we have come up with a program, like my colleague earlier said, to train the real estate broker. Gwe bayita bloko wawansi, oli atula ku stage, oli landlord gwawe nyumba n'agamba omanyi ndabirako ayagala okugula nyumba oba okutunda ayite munze. Who the other big companies do not have direct access to. The people who start
the real work.
Yes, do not have. So you realize that the professional brokers go to these people, but these people have not been what? Trained. So they continue to bring or they've been into fraud, into a lot of chaos has been in the real estate industry. So the government of Uganda, through refunds, has brought out this training so that we can enable the grassroots broker, so that we can train the LCs who sign on this agreement.
Did you talk about the LCs?
LCs, I said.
Wow.
Yes, yes. We need to train them so they can know what is a lease agreement or a sales agreement. You know, what are the different newer systems that
How are you going to access all these LCs? I mean, we have over 1 million sales in the whole country. How are you going to get to them? Is that even practicable? Is that even practical?
Very practical, Viola. Thank you very much, Viola. So this is what we're going to do for the training. We have actually already started. We are training LCs and real estate brokers. For example, Kampala, we are starting division by division. We have 5 divisions in Kampala. We have Makindye, Rubaga, Kawempe, Central, and then Nakawa. So each week we will be training the brokers and the LCs. We have contacts down at the divisions and at the districts. We shall be training them and bring them together. When we finish Kampala, we'll go to Wakiso, train also the LCs and the brokers, because they're the people at the grassroots that were giving us the information. Then afterwards, we'll go out up country. We'll go to Mbarara, we'll go to Lira, we'll go to Gulu, slowly by slowly. And we think it will help in the professionalizing of the industry. Just to add on what the formal education has done.
I can understand how this is going to help as many people or many players in this real estate industry. What can you help us know what more available opportunities are there? Like in detail, what is it in it for these people?
Well, there are many opportunities that come with the training of the informal sector. First, we must know that the formal education and the practices are just picking what is practiced in UK, in USA, bringing it to Uganda.
Different model in a different environment.
Yes, in a different environment altogether. But we have got a unique structure of land and property markets. For example, she alluded to the tenure system. While in UK, USA, you are talking about the freehold and leasehold, in Uganda, we are faced with Mairo, confused, the one that provides for your ownership, and customary land. Now, whereas in the normal situation, you would expect that in a land transaction, you would expect that, for example, in a formal transaction, one would do a search at the registry and get all the necessary information. But in our current situation here in Uganda, not every information on property, on land, is captured within our land register. So what happens is that, yes, we follow that model. You go and do a search, and you will actually find, for example, that property is encumbrance free. Come down onto the ground, you find there are those very complicated unregistered encumbrances. So what opportunity is this training going to bring in here? That we want to train the LCs, who are the administrators on the ground of these land transactions, on how to record, to create basically what we are calling a village register. So that as much as we do a search at the registry, we also, any land transaction going on, can also refer to the registry at the LC, at the village level. And we believe we shall structure a good register that will be providing all the necessary information on the recent transactions within that locality. And we believe that will provide opportunity one, will lessen the flood, will lessen selling of air, will avail the government and the academic world and the professionals source of data. It will in effect become the database for the property industry.
Thank you so much, Francis. Just briefly, we have about 5 minutes to the end of the show. But briefly, how can someone get you? Do you have a website? Do you have a contact number? Where is your venue? Just in about a minute, tell the viewer where they can find you.
Thank you, Viola. So we have this real estate training, and it's going to be, it's already at Makerere University Business School. If you're interested, please, all of us in one way or the other involved in real estate transactions, and we deal with brokers, and we have LCs where we stay. So just encourage your LC, chairperson, LC1, just encourage that broker that you work with to get you the properties, just encourage them to come, and you can kindly book your slot. They are limited. Book your slot on 0777 913 407. And I repeat, just for you to get it, 0777 913 407. Book your slot. We will take you on, and yes, you'll get to. Starting? Tuesday, 9th November, we'll be training brokers up to 12. It will be a 4-day training from 8 to 1 o'clock. And then even the following week, we'll be training LCs. And this training is going to be continuous. So just call us, and we will schedule for a slot.
All right, thank you so much, Rachel, and thank you so much for offering your knowledge effortlessly tonight to an informal sector or to any other viewer that could be interested in real estate. This is broad. It could be a willing buyer, it could be a willing seller, it could be that huge landlord downtown, it could be, you know, every other person, at least real estate. You would be related to it in one way or the other. But realistically, I don't think, just in a minute, I don't think that we don't have challenges in this sector. If you could give us one or two, and we close the show tonight.
Sure, we have a lot of challenges in the sector. One, first is acceptance of the professional advice, both to the potential landlord, to the existing landlord, to the potential tenant, to the existing tenant, to the very brokers who are in the industry, to the financiers. So we've got challenge number one, acceptance of professional advice. I can see time is not on my side, but the other challenge, of course, is the willingness to study, the willingness to come for these trainings. So we invite whoever is out there. We shall use available instruments and tools and modes of instruction to accommodate everyone. If it means using Uganda, we shall use Uganda. Yes. If it means using Swahili, we shall use Swahili. We want to make sure that everyone who is playing, the known and the unknown, playing a role in this industry, is brought to the common platform of knowledge.
Thank you so much, Francis. And once again, we appreciate you tonight. Now, dear viewer, this is UBC Property Hour. When we tell you that we are informative, inclusive, and up-to-date, this is what we mean. We don't just have to showcase anything else related to real estate, but also we power you with the knowledge that you don't have to miss out. Now, do not forget to always catch us every Saturday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. right here on UBC. And we are proudly brought to you by HK Properties Uganda. This is your #1 leading condominium housing company in Uganda. Do not fail to check out on the screen their website. Just go there, get their contacts, and get your condominium apartment in Uganda with the best payment terms. Till next Saturday, have a good night.
Residency in Bunyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has stepped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rents. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389. This weekend on UBC.
Uganda is steadily becoming a reputable and formidable breeding ground for top actors and actresses in this world. And today, we're happy to have people like Sam Bagenda in this industry who paved way for a lot of people.